What is going on to all you wonderful humans watching from the corporation of the county of Simcoe? My name is Mike Massey, also known as Mindful Mike. It is my pleasure and honor. I am so grateful for the county to support the work that I do to help support any of the staff, and most importantly, to plant these seeds so we can best help those children to respond to their emotions in the healthiest of ways. So today I'm talking to you about my passion of teaching mindfulness to children using my tool in my book, Andy Gets Angry. So just in this short video, I'm gonna go over a couple things. One, why I wrote Andy Gets Angry, the reasoning kind of behind it. Two, some behind the scenes, like they're all paintings and how we did that. And I'm gonna use my son Bo actually, because he was the model. My youngest son Bo was the model for Andy Gets Angry. And then thirdly, I'm gonna read the story Andy Gets Angry. So I've been teaching mindfulness almost 14 years. And one of the things that I love the most is actually working with young children and teaching children about their emotions. Like I would use my breathing ball, so I have them, breathe in and then breathe out, or think about the last time they were mad or worried or sad or frustrated, and then show them what happens to our bodies when that's happening. So I love doing tools, right? I love doing stuff like the calm jar, where we are looking at our mind when it's calm, and then we think about when we're angry or mad or frustrated. Then we take our deep breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. We do that again, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. And I show them how the mind, just like the jar with doing our breathing, starts to slow things down. There's a wonderful book that I use in conjunction with that teaching called The Moody Cow Meditates. It used to be my favorite book on meditation for kids, but then I created this bad boy, Andy Gets Angry, for a reason. So what I found in a lot of the work that I was doing, that we label these emotions with our children like, oh, that's a bad emotion. Like anger, it's a bad one. Oh, anxiety, that's a bad one. But like happiness and joy, those are like good ones. And I found that a lot of the children I would work with wouldn't want to even talk about their anger because they thought it was bad or even sometimes wrong. And and over and over and over again, I would say to these children, whatever emotion you're experiencing is actually okay. It's not feeling that anger is bad, but it's what you do with that anger when it happens. So I found that I was doing this quite a bit. Anger and anxiety, I deal with a lot with all the young children that I work with. And I just thought, well, I'm gonna do a book. Let's do a book about this. So I was going through a bunch of different ideas. And at the first part, I thought, okay, it's gonna be more like cartoon and kind of like funny. And then I met my artist through our shared love of jujitsu. And then I was, hey, I have this book that I'm thinking of writing. Would you wanna, maybe draw for it or do cartoony? And she's like, yeah, like maybe. Or we could do like our portrait style and I could like paint it. And I thought, oh. So the really neat thing, and this obviously it's biased because it's my book, but the really neat thing about Andy Gets Angry is that every single page is actually a painting. So I have some here and I'm gonna go through them with you all. But here's one, for example. Let's move my mic. Here's one of my favorites of the character of Andy getting ready to prepare for his breathing. You can just see the detail in the canvas. And I was really happy with how the book actually turned out in print. Very similar to the paintings, kind of holding them next to each other. And then we can go to this other painting here where Andy is doing his breathing technique, and he's doing it when he's watching his friends play soccer. So maybe he was a little frustrated or mad early on in the story, but he's using his breathing technique informally. And then you can see we're going down to when he's actually using his breathing technique for his test or when he was writing at school to kind of calm his brain and his body down. And then we have this painting of, where Jen and I are actually in the painting here too, my wife and I, where Andy is using his breathing technique when his parents were talking to him about something, like when they're raising their voice or they were frustrated. That was the intent behind that. And then we have the kind of before and after. This is for sure one of my also favorites in the book. Has Andy kind of angry and frustrated, and the intent that the artist had in the painting was to kind of show that within the outfit and their body posture and language. And then we go over to when the after when Andy has done his breathing technique and his body is more calm. You can see the relaxation in the face and the hands, and I just love the imagery of it. And then here's just one that actually hangs in our hallway of me teaching to some of the students in a classroom when Mindful Mike came in, and he is introducing himself in the book and what he does for a living and how he teaches people how to work with their emotions and all emotions in healthy ways. Then we're going to go to my absolute favorite, which is actually a double page in the book, where you'll see very soon. And the double page in the book is of Andy sitting down and using his stress ball breathing. And stress ball breathing is the main tool in this book, helping children work with their emotions. And you can see here that it's hanging actually in my living room, and I get to see it every day, which is kind of a beautiful reminder with the opportunity I had to create this book. I love that this is, I believe, the only children's book ever to use 100% canvases for all of their pages. And we are currently working on our next one, Will is Worried. But Andy Gets Angry is all about how we can use this breathing technique, how we can use it to respond to stress in a healthier way. And my intent in writing this book was to really lay down the framework that it doesn't matter what emotion you're experiencing. You're allowed to experience those emotions because all humans have emotions. The intent of this book is to plant these seeds so all children can use this stress ball breathing technique to respond to their stress and to manage their stress in the healthiest of ways. So it's my great honor and pleasure to read you my version, my book, Andy Gets Angry. Welcome to Andy Gets Angry, story by Mike Massey and painted by the wonderful Emily Corbett. For Dexter and Bo, this book shows that if you follow your heart, your passion can be your work. Always follow your dreams. Love, Dad. This is Andy. He lives in a normal home on a quiet street. Andy has a brother, Bobby. Bobby can be pretty silly. Andy also has a sister, Sierra, who sings all the time. Andy loves watching funny videos. He enjoys playing some sports, and Andy loves video games. But sometimes Andy gets angry. Sometimes Andy gets angry when he loses. And sometimes Andy gets so angry in class when he doesn't know the answer to the question. Sometimes Andy gets angry when Bobby takes his toys, or when Sierra won't stop singing. Sometimes he gets angry when his parents raise their voice. Andy doesn't like being angry, mad, or frustrated. He hates how it makes him feel. Sometimes he feels angry in his face. Sometimes he feels angry in his hands. And other times he feels angry in his stomach. And even in his mind. Andy later feels bad about some of the things he said or did when he was angry. He felt bad after he yelled at Bobby. And he felt bad after he slammed the door on Sierra. And he felt bad after the one time he told his dad that he didn't like him anymore. And that didn't just make Andy angry, it also made him feel sad. Andy's parents and teachers thought it'd be a good idea for Andy to learn a simple technique to help him with his anger. They called their friend Mindful Mike. Mindful Mike told Andy that being angry, mad, or frustrated is okay. Mindful Mike said that being angry is just as normal as being happy. It's just an emotion, and all humans have emotions. And all emotions are okay to have. Mindful Mike said it is okay to be angry, but the most important thing is how we can learn to work with our anger. Just like learning a new word, math, or trying a new sport, it is very important that we practice how to work with our emotions. So Mindful Mike showed Andy a fast and simple breathing technique. Mindful Mike said that all you have to do is imagine that you have a stress ball in the palm of your hand. Now close your hand over that imaginary ball, one finger at a time, and count to 5. And then squeeze as tight as you can for the count of 5. Tight, 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 tight as you can with all of your might. And then slowly open your hand, one finger at a time. Mindful Mike said that when you focus on your breathing, it helps us slow down our mind and become calmer. The cool thing about stress ball breathing is that Andy can use it anywhere. He can use stress ball breathing when Bobby takes his toys, or when Sierra sings. He can use stress ball breathing when his parents raise their voice. Andy can also use secret stress ball breathing when no one knows. He calls this ninja breaths. Like when he's angry at recess, or when he's frustrated at school. Mindful Mike said that learning this breath doesn't mean Andy won't get angry, but it does mean that he won't be as angry when he loses, or when he answers a question wrong, or when Bobby takes his toys, or Sierra is singing, or when his parents raise their voice. So let's all try stress ball breathing. Close your hand, one finger at a time, and then squeeze as you count to 5. Tight, 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 tight. Squeeze as tight as you can with all of your might, and then slowly open your hand, one finger at a time, and breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job! Try this the next time you are angry. Hope you enjoyed Andy Gets Angry. Look who we have here. Bo the Dozer Massey. Bo was the model. Bo, show them your best Andy. See the resemblance? See it? Huh? Okay, thanks, Bo. So I wanted to bring Bo out to show how we can use these techniques from Andy Gets Angry, mainly the stress ball breathing, but then we'll go into ninja breathing, and show how someone who is now 8, when we did the book, I believe Bo was 6 turning 7, so he's a little older now, but he still can use these techniques, just like any human right now watching this can use these techniques. So Bo, let's show them stress ball breathing, shall we? Okay, so we take our hand, right? Then what do? We breathe in for that tight, 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 tight. That's 5 of them. And then we breathe out for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, in for tight, 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 tight. And we go out for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, we go in for tight, 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 tight. And go out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here's the great thing. You also can do it really fast. So, or you can exaggerate the tight. Let's do this, right, Bo? Go faster. Ready? Breathe in. Go tight, 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 tight. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really slow. In. Tight, 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 tight. You can just have them hold it for long, and then really out slow for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what do we do if we don't want people to know that we're doing this, right? So Bo's at school. Most people know that he's Mindful Mike's son, right? So he doesn't want people to know that when he's mad, frustrated, or upset, he does a stress ball breathing. But what can we do?
Ninja?
Ninja breathing, right? And what is ninja breathing? Tell them, not me, I know. What's ninja breathing?
That you do it with, like, in your pocket?
Yeah.
Or behind your back?
Yeah, you do stress ball breathing, like Bo said, in your pocket or behind your back. Just like we have here in the photo, right? Andy in the book is doing stress ball breathing without anyone knowing that he's doing it. So, Bo, what are we gonna do? You have a hoodie today? No, you don't. So, behind your back?
I have a pocket.
Okay, your pocket. So, Bo's gonna go pocket. I'm gonna go behind my back. Same thing. We breathe in, tight, 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 out. 2, 3, 4, 5. We breathe in again for that tight, 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 and we go out. 3, 4, 5. There it is. Thanks, Bo. Thanks, buddy. As you can see, it's fairly easy to use. And it doesn't matter. I've had many actually parents message me after the book came out and said, you know, I could use this technique too. It's based off the common practice I use with all humans I work with, which is our breath. Why? Our breath is always here. You have lots of thoughts that take you anywhere else, but you can notice that as a thought and come back to the breath. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to plant these seeds. Does that mean that my son, Bo, doesn't get upset or doesn't get frustrated? Of course not. He's a human. He's an 8-year-old human. But my deep belief is that if I can train our brains, if I can train my children's brains to be responsive instead of reactive, if I can train their brain or help them train their brain to respond to stress in a healthy way, to notice that their emotions are okay. Because at the end of the day, I want my kids, when they're angry, mad, or frustrated, I want them to hold that emotion in the same way that they would if their best friend was upset or worried or anxious or nervous about something. I want them to say, wow, it must be really hard. How are you doing? I wouldn't want them to say, well, get over it. People have it way worse than you. So hopefully, by planting these seeds with our little humans, we can teach them to respond and handle their emotions, and whatever they're experiencing is okay. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, please message me directly at mindfulmike.ca, or you can DM me at mindfulmasse, M-A-S-S-E. Talk to you soon. Thanks for all the support. Truly, it's felt here. Bye for now.